Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into what's happening right now in the real estate market in Folsom, California. The trends, the statistics, what it all means if you're thinking about buying or selling. So let's jump in. And as always, you shouldn't just listen to the voice of one person on YouTube. You should always do your own research and make your own decisions. This is not meant to be financial advice for you. So take it with a grain of salt. I am a real estate investor myself and have invested in Folsom, California. So do have some expertise and looking forward to sharing things with you here. So first off, the median list price, according to recent update from Altus Research for Folsom, and this is the zip code 95630. This week, the median list price is about $829,000, actually just a tick under $830,000. So they also report the market action index, which gauges how hot the market is at a rate of sales versus inventory. So they gauge that right now at 41, which indicates a slight seller's advantage at this point. Inventory is reported at 136 active listings in that same zip code. Average days on market. For new listings, the average days on market is about 86, while the median days on market overall is 56. The price per square foot still hovering around $370 in that same data set, also from Altus Research. Next, year-over-year trends. On one hand, from Redfin for the city of Folsom, this is kind of interesting. Redfin for the city of Folsom, in September 2025, the median sale price was about $765,000. So, a little different, which is up 8.4% compared to the same month last year. But note, the median days on market in that data jumped to 35 days in September compared to 16 days in the prior year. Another data source, Zillow, shows that the average home value in Folsom is $758,000, little above there, which is actually down 2.8% over the past year. And that's data through September 30th of this year. It gets released about a month behind, so we should be seeing new data coming out pretty soon here. So it's not a runaway market, but there's definitely still movement. Some metrics are showing growth, some are showing slight declines. So still very active, but not what it was a couple years ago. So what do we make of all that? So I think there's a few takeaways. One, I think the list price is near $830,000. There's a slight seller's advantage, meaning, sellers do have some leverage, but the modest market action index of 41 shows that it's not wildly overheated. The fact that days on the market are creeping up, 56, median days on market, 86 average in one data set, signals that buyers are getting a little more time to evaluate, and sellers may need to be a little more patient. So the mixed year-over-year numbers suggest that while there's some segments of the market, like the median sales price are up, other broader indicators like average home value are slightly down. So the market's nuanced. It's definitely nuanced. Inventory still appears modest. We've got 136 listings in kind of the main zip code here in Folsom, but that number alone doesn't tell the full story of supply versus demand. The increase in days on market and the mixed value changes could indicate the market is shifting toward more balance rather than a pure seller's market. Another factor, so in California, housing supply remains constrained. While we don't have Folsom-specific policy data in perfect real time, the broader state context, meaning recently signed, California State Senate Bill 79, which streamlines multifamily housing near transit, suggests that supply may gradually increase. Or at least there's policy backing, things kind of go in that direction. So that could introduce new units in the longer term, which may ease supply constraints somewhat. Maybe, we'll see how that pans out, though. I mean, that I don't know how easy it is for us to, really make a projection on that, just since we're seeing policy go in a certain direction. And in many markets, buyers are seeing more options and slightly less frenzied competition compared to pandemic peak years. So looking ahead in the next 12 months for Folsom, I'd expect home prices, and this is just me again, as someone who's an active investor, but I don't have all the time in the world to do this, so I just have to kind of work with these data sources and make the best projection that I can. But you should do your own research and make your own projections and make your own investment decisions based on your own research. So I personally, think we may see home prices increase modestly, maybe in the 2 to 5% range, assuming interest rates remain stable or moderate downward, which I think they will do, and no major economic shocks occur. And that could be anything. That could be like natural disasters. That could be something purely economic related. The forecast from some analysts for the broader region, like the broader Sacramento region, do suggest moderate growth. The days on market may continue to drift up just a little, given buyers a bit more time, which may mean, sellers who priced more aggressively will probably still see demand. At least that's what I think. Inventory may tick up as sellers enter the market, as broader housing policy incentives for building more housing takes effect. So that could gradually shift power towards a more balanced market rather than more of a seller's market, which we're in today. Interest rates will remain a wild card. If they drop meaningfully, demand could surge and push up prices. If rates rise, it could slow things down. The trajectory as of right this second, I would say, is a gradual decline in interest rates, at least in my opinion. So for buyers considering Folsom, given that the market is not frenzied and you have, meaningful information on market dynamics, I think now could be a reasonable time to buy, particularly if you see, favorable financing, and you're ready for, kind of a medium to long-term hold, like 5 to 10 years, rather than, trying to just flip houses. I probably wouldn't do that in Folsom myself right now, but that's just me. So the bottom line, I think now is a good time to buy, just with some caveats. I think if you're financially ready, with a down payment, good credit, and comfortable with interest rates, and you plan to live there for several years, Folsom is a great market. I think it offers, some moderate growth. Don't expect rapid double-digit appreciation in the next year, at least in my opinion. If you're looking to buy and flip quickly, this may not be the ideal moment. Probably better to hold for several years. If interest rates go up significantly, the affordability equation shifts. So, locking in a good rate now helps. If you're very price sensitive, you may get a bit more negotiating power today than you might have had at the market peak. So I think those are my main takeaways. And then, just to kind of wrap it up, I think that, I think it's a good market. I think it'll be a gradual climb upwards in terms of prices. And I think interest rates are probably going to gradually come down. But, that's it for me. I think that's what's happening, today, and where things are headed over the next year. So if you like this update, please hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss future updates, and let's keep in touch. Thanks.